supposed to finish one of my other videos, but I'm running out of time on that, so instead we're going to look at this Blade Runner trailer and analyze it a bit.
Order to things.
There's an order to
That's
things.
what we do here.
That goes along
We
with
keep order.
the theme of the original, where everybody was. The replicants were basically a slave race. And I like this line here.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
And one of my beliefs is that humans are completely responsible for the whole replicant situation. Since they're creating a slave race and then they rebel and, well, bad stuff happens. So in this scene, it looks like it's off-world, maybe Mars, and that's where a familiar person, a familiar face is. It's Deckard. I don't want to wait to catch up while Ryan Gosling here does a bunch of
I did your job once.
bunch of nothing.
I was good at it. Things were simpler then.
So that implies that maybe there's a lot that's changed drastically, especially in the Blade Runner department. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. And here comes the second newer trailer. And it seems a lot more action-packed than the original movie, which I kind of don't like, because one of the things that I really loved about the original is that it's
Every civilization
a movie about, like, detective work.
was built off the back of a disposable workforce,
Yes.
but I can only make so many. Happy birthday.
Here's a really interesting character. He looks kind of like a replicant
There's
himself.
an order to things.
You can tell from the eyes. He's got some weird eyes.
That's what we do here. We
And
keep order.
the woman
The
who
world
was
is
just
built on a
talking,
wall that separates kind. Tell either side there's no wall. You bought a war.
it's a very tyrannical society now. And here we are back on
You're a cop.
wherever Deckard is.
I did your job once.
And he's old.
I was good at
He's clearly aged a lot. Oh, I never noticed that tripwire the first several times I watched this.
I know. What do you want?
So either he's
I'll
not a
ask you some
replicant,
questions.
or he's a model that
To the future
doesn't have an age limit, or has a very high age
is
limit,
finally unearthed.
a human-like age
Bring
limit.
it to me.
It's basically been confirmed that he's a replicant, so I think it's the latter. And as I was saying, I don't like the amount of action sequences there are shown. It's a very visually appealing movie
I
from
always told you.
what they've shown.
You're special.
It reminds me of
Your story isn't over
Ghost in the
yet.
Shell a bit.
There's still a page left.
And that bit right there, it kind of implies that Ryan Gosling's character is a replicant. The theory that all Blade Runners are replicants has been going around for a while, and if you watched my Let's Play of the game, that was certainly the case in that. Now I'm gonna go on Wikipedia and see what answers that holds. So we've got this riveting description of the plot, a new Blade Runner LAPD Officer K, Ryan Gosling, discovers the big bad secret, which leads him to look for Deckard, who disappeared 30 years ago. Yeah, okay. Great description. Here's the cast list. The big one is Edward James Olmos, who was the Deckard's, I guess, handler, you could say. The origami guy. He's coming back, and he's going to be like super, like an old mummy, I guess. Super old. And most of the rest of the page is just like a decade worth of rumors about other projects, and canceled, scripts and attempts at making movies. It looks like there's a bunch of different plans and versions they had. There's hints at some kind of themes they were looking at. I like this one. One version would explore the nature of the off-world colonies, as well as what happens to the Tyrell Corporation in the wake of its founder's death. That looks like something that might kind of still be in there from what we saw. I also like this. It was reported that month that Christopher Nolan was the desired choice to make the film. I wish that was the case. Down here, it is absolutely patently false that there has been any discussion about Harrison Ford being in Blade Runner. Okay, moving on. When Scott was asked about the possibility of a sequel in October 2012, he said, "It's not a rumor, it's happening. With Harrison Ford, I don't know yet. Is he too old? Well, he was an Nexus 6, so we don't know how long he can live." So that confirms that he is a replicant in Ridley Scott's eyes, as he has said many times before. Ridley Scott said that Ford's character will appear only in the third act of the sequel. So it's a bit of a bait and switch, but they're doing a new character, and it's kind of going to be the same deal as the new Star Wars trilogy. Hopefully a bit less switch and a bit more bait. But anyway, Villeneuve disclosed that the plot would include the ambiguity of whether or not Deckard is a human or a replicant. Guys, you can keep this this debate going for decades if you have this kind of attitude between Ridley Scott and directors and actors and writers and so many different people with different attitudes. I love it. And that's pretty much it as far as Wikipedia goes. There's not a whole lot left. It will be one of the most longest gap between sequels at 30-something years, so that's some trivia if you want to tell your friends, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited for it to come out. I'm gonna see it, and yeah, that's that. I'll see you around.